The chapter begins with John and Mustafa Mond. They are both sitting in Mond's office discussing the flaws that John sees in the world state. These problems revolve around the idea of religion and how it is deleted from the society. The controller, Mond, takes out banned religious books from his safe, including the Holy Bible and the Imitation of Christ. The controller then mentions Othello.
Othello is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare. It is a timeless story about race, love, jealousy, and betrayal.
Next, the controller then alludes to Cardinal Newman.
Cardinal Newman, also known as John Henry Newman, he was an important figure in the religious history of England in the 19th century. Mustafa Mond quotes Newman saying, "We are not our own masters, we are God's property." This suggests that individuals feel the need for religion as they lose the sense that they are in control of their own lives.
Their discussion leads them to the topic of how aging causes people to turn to religion.
People usually turn to religion in a time of need or when they're trying to deal with hardships. Religion is a way of comfort and an outlet for those feelings and those sufferings. Usually people turn to religion and God for answers.
Mond brings up how there is no need for a religion to compensate for the world state's losses if there aren't any losses. The controller confesses and says that there is a God, but he manifests himself through absence. The savage John gets angry with Mond and blames him for taking away the existence of religion.
Mond states, "The religious sentiment will compensate us for all our losses, but there aren't any losses for us to compensate. Religious sentiment is superfluous, and why should we go hunting for a substitute for youthful desires when youthful desires never fail?" So what Mond is trying to say right now is that religion is caused due to hardships and losses, and so people go to religion for that. And since there are no losses in the world state, people have no need for religion, so it's kind of a waste. And what he's saying is people shouldn't go out looking for something that they don't need.
Mond points out how the people in the community are never alone because everyone belongs to everyone. The absence of loneliness turns everyone away from God.
God is incompatible with machinery and scientific medicine and universal happiness. In a society where happiness, consumption, and self-indulgence is valued, there's no room for God. The world state substitutes individual thought and alone time with machinery and technology. Citizens are conditioned to value their work and jobs and ignore religion.
John compares his old life with his new life. His hopes and expectations for the new world turned out to be his sufferings.
At Mount Pice, he had suffered because they shut him out from the communal activities of the Pueblo. In civilized London, he was suffering because he could never escape from those communal activities, never be quietly alone. Essentially, John is an outcast in both of his societies. His anger and frustration stems from him not being able to fit in. John thought that the world state would be different, but he is let down once he arrives and is humiliated by his relation to the DHC. It is ironic that John is unhappy because he once wished to be able to participate in communal activities and is now overwhelmed by them, and he hates the fact that he can never stop and think for a minute.
Mond then discusses King Lear.
King Lear is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare in which the main character spirals into madness after disposing his estate between two of the three daughters based on their flattery, bringing tragic consequences for all. John quotes King Lear by saying, "The gods are just, and our pleasant vices make instruments to plague us. The dark and vicious place where he got cost him his eyes." John asks Mond if there seems to be a God that manages, punishes, and rewards.
John angrily argues that he wants self-denial and God because God is supposed to be a noble hero.
Civilization has absolutely no need of nobility or heroism. These things are symptoms of political inefficiency. The need for heroism and nobility means that something or someone needs to be saved. If something needs to be saved, that means struggle, hardship, and adversities are apparent. However, there is community and stability in the world state, and there is no need for saving because everyone is conditioned to be happy with their situations.
Mond then explains the reason behind Soma and how it is helping his citizens to deal with their emotions.
Anybody can be virtuous now. You can carry at least half your morality about in a bottle. Christianity without the tears. That's what Soma is. Soma is the substitute for religion. It gives all the same effects such as security, comfort, and bliss, without giving people the freedom to think for themselves. Soma is used to forget bad feelings and to escape reality.
Then another reference to Othello comes up.
John quotes Othello, "If after every tempest came such calms, may the winds blow till they awaken death." He relates it to a story he heard from an Indian about the girl of Madaski. All the men who wanted to marry her had to do a morning of hoeing in her garden and put up with the flies and mosquitoes. The man that lasted through the stinging and biting got the girl.
John fights for the right to be unhappy. But I don't want comfort, I want God, I want poetry, I want freedom, I want goodness, I want sin. Not to mention the right to grow old and ugly and impotent. John wants the ability to have feelings that a normal human would experience. He doesn't want his natural emotions to be suppressed by society. He wants to experience failure. John wishes to feel pain and sorrow. With these negative emotions comes happiness because he knows that those feelings are genuine. This internal dilemma is the major theme of this chapter.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Morley Safe.
And I'm Matt Turley. These stories and John the Savage next on 60 Minutes. John the Savage, can we have a word with you? 60 Minutes.
No comment.
Can we have a word, please?
No comment.
Let's just have a word.
No
Society needs to know.
comment.
We need to know. After much persuasion, John agreed to answer a couple of our questions. How did your meeting go with Mustafa Mond?
Honestly, I don't want to talk about it. I don't understand how this society can suppress unhappiness and real feelings. How can the world state decide if we can have God, religion, or losses in our lives? Don't you want to feel?
I have Soma. What topics did you speak about with him?
We spoke about how this civilization does not like inconveniences. He told me we prefer to do things comfortably. But if comfort cost me the right to be unhappy, then so be it. I'm claiming the right to be unhappy.
Did you agree with what he said?
Not at all. I didn't agree with the process of VPS, standing for Violent Passion Surrogate. According to Mond, men and women must have their adrenals stimulated from time to time. VPS occurs once a month. It's the complete physiological equivalent of fear and rage. How is that healthy? How is that just?
What's next for John the Savage?
I'm going to live a life filled with the right to grow old and ugly and impotent.
What was your impression of Mustafa Mond?
Well, I must admit, Mustafa Mond proved to me that he was a well-educated man. However, I did not agree with his choice in choosing happiness over vices. To me, that's kind of cowardly.
Did he influence your view on the world state now that he explained it thoroughly to you?
No. My view has not changed a bit.
You stated that you're claiming the right to be unhappy. Why do you want to be unhappy? What is the point?
I want to be unhappy because feeling unhappiness means you're experiencing a whole range of emotions. The whole point of unhappiness is to know when times are better. The only way to truly experience joy and elation is when you have experienced times of pain and distress. Society needs to realize that there needs to be bad times in order to appreciate the good times.
Define the perfect society.
Well, you see, I think that my perfect society would be a society where people have the right to free emotion and have the right to experience every curveball that life throws at you. A place where one day you can feel passion and love and another feel dread and sorrow.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.